just after 6 o'clock on Saturday, August 22nd, year 2020. Sometimes in watching some of the old videos, I realize that I have given the day and the date, but not the year, and there have been so many, both videos and years, that I sometimes don't remember what year it was. We are anchored in what is called Mariner's Cove off of South Mission Beach over there. We got here because we went sailing this morning. Gannet's dock is in the marina over that way in Guevara Basin, about a half a mile. It's my first sail in a very long time, months. And it probably was my last sail in the North Pacific Ocean. I hope to have Gannet trucked to Hilton Head in the Atlantic in the next few weeks. I also hope to have more clarity about when that will happen this coming week. We had a nice sail, a light wind. San Diego has the best climate of any major city in the world that I know of, and one component of that is that there isn't much wind here. We had 4 or 5 knots. Gannet was making about a half knot less than true wind speed. I had a diver clean her bottom a week or so ago, so she can move. There are a lot of new things on Gannet. These past few weeks I've had Pacific Offshore Rigging, who are the people who rigged the new mast when I got it however many years ago, 2013 or 14. They replaced all the standing rigging. I was not aware of anything wrong with the old standing rigging, but I replaced that after every circumnavigation. Once around is enough for the wires. Up forward, new furling gear. That's a pro furl. The old one was Furlex. I was never completely satisfied with it. It did not seem to be substantial enough. It did make it all the way around, but the top section separated and jammed, fortunately, at the dock in Panama. Had that happened out at sea, it would have been a significant problem. I had Profurl on the Hawk of Tuonela. They are maintenance free and, well, as bulletproof as anything can be. Don't know that you'll be able to see it up at the masthead. There is a new electronic wind instrument. It is made by a German company under the name Open Wind. There are many things I like about it, and there are a couple of problems with it. It's solar powered, requires no wires. It seems to be very well constructed. It does not require a display instrument because it uses an app on whatever device you own. I have the app on my iPhone. I have it on my iPad. I can even read out the wind on my Apple Watch. They also have apps for Android devices. The two problems with it are that the compass that is in it to show the compass heading of the wind direction is completely wrong. 90, 180 degrees wrong. We're not even talking about close. And I have read the owner's manual. It says that that's calibrated at the factory and shouldn't have to be changed. It gives you a procedure to do it, but you can't do it when the unit is at the masthead. The Gannet's mast is going to be down for the tow, so maybe I will try that way. The other problem is that the connection is made by Bluetooth, and usually it is good, but intermittently and inexplicably, you open the app and it connects, and then it disconnects a second later, and then it connects, and then it disconnects a second later, ad infinitum. After a while, an hour later maybe, whatever, it works again. When I was at the dock, I wondered if there was some kind of radio or whatever interference from other boats. It connected perfectly today when I was out sailing. It connected when I first came in here, and then it didn't connect for a while, and now it connects again. There are obviously boats around me now. I don't know the answer to that. Also up at the masthead is a new Masthead tricolor anchor light. The anchor light of my old one wasn't working. Hadn't been for a couple of years. I think Casey's people were Casey is the owner of Pacific Outshore Rigging. We're maybe the third rigger to look at it. Simon was the main man who did the work on my boat, and he took it to the shop and they tested it, and they found out that the tricolor and the anchor light were always on no matter what switch you had. I was aware that I had tricolor. So they replaced it with the same unit, and it now works properly. I noticed that the packaging on the new unit said it had a lifetime warranty. Well, I'm not going to make an issue of that. The masthead was in the water at least 3 times, maybe 4, and they aren't designed. Masthead tricolors are not designed to go for a swim. Another new accessory on the boat is the Torquato remote throttle, which you're looking at. This is really excellent. Today was the first day I had used it. It has 3 substantial advantages. One is that when you're sitting, as I am here near by the tiller, you can, particularly when you're docking, you can steer and control the throttle in a normal position. Without the remote throttle, there's a tiller arm, which you can see the gap of it back there. It's not necessary to be fit with the remote. And to change the throttle, you have to reach back there while you're holding onto the tiller. Obviously very awkward. Another big advantage is that when you tilt the outboard out of the water, with the tiller arm, if the tiller arm is there, you have to remove the tiller arm, which leaves the electrical connection to the battery exposed. With the remote, you don't. You simply can tilt it out and leave everything in place. The third advantage is that you can read out the battery level. I don't know if you'll be able to read that on the display. It says 64%. Here, instead of having to lean out precariously over the transom to read it on the tiller arm. I'm very happy with that throttle, obviously. Down below, they also replaced the tie downs for the aft lower shrouds. I was using Dyneema. Dyneema doesn't stretch much, but it does some, so they replaced them with wire. And they moved the turnbuckles for the adjustment on those tie downs. They were at the bottom, which was very difficult to reach to make any adjustment. They put them up at the top, which is quite easy to reach. GANNET structurally is in good shape. She's ready to... She could cross an ocean without anything more than adding provisions and water. From the deck down, she's good. From the deck up, she's good. From the deck down, she needs cosmetic work. The top sides need to be painted. She needs to be anti-fouled. Inside, she needs new cushion covers. She needs new pipe berths. And the spray hood, which is down right now and was put on in Durban, Australia, is about due for replacement. It's ripped. There have been a couple of holes in it that I've repaired, but it's probably just been exposed to the sun, and the sun wears these things out. UV. Those of you who read my journal know what I've done these last several months. Basically what I've done is socially isolate with Carol back in Evanston. I was on GANNET in late February, early March, when the pandemic began, or at least when we became aware of it, and wisely went back to Evanston earlier than I had planned. I was here to do some of the work that's just been done, but because the marina closed down completely for several weeks, including locking up the shore facilities, the shower, and the heads. Life for me would have been very difficult on Gannet. I came back about 3 weeks ago. Carol and I, first of all, for me to socially isolate is not a big problem. I have spent, as you probably know, I'm not sure, but many years, maybe 7, 8, 9, totally alone at sea. So, no problem. And I was with Carol, and she's been working from home since March, mostly on the phone and video conferencing. Her office is partially reopened, but attendance there is optional and very few people are going in, and there's a schedule which only would permit a maximum of a third of the people at any one time. But she, as I say, she's only gone in a few times. That's South Mission. Over that way is North Mission. It's still all the same sand spit. It's just divided by where Mission, I don't know if you even know the name of the street, maybe it's, that comes in there out that way. Anyway, up there about a mile is where my grandparents' house was, where I spent a lot of time. I go back 60 years here, more than 60 years. That was in the 50s, 56, 7, 8, when I spent my high school summers there. We'll spend the night here. Torquato back to the dock tomorrow. I'm going to turn this, what the old sailor himself looks like. Thing of beauty is a joy forever. Anyway, it is 6:30. I had done this before. You're going to get to see some people going by with a dog as their lookout. A lot of dogs do pretty well on the water. I had tried to record this earlier and realized I had some lapses, so I, at about 5:30, poured myself a libation, took a sip or two, and then decided to have another go for it. I'm going to return to some air temperature Plymouth gin and some music. I wish you well.